Alrighty. Today I'm going to answer a question I get asked pretty much either directly or indirectly on every conversation I have with a lead. And I thought it would be worth sharing with you on that side. And that question is simply, how can Castle HR help my company grow on that side? And it's a great question and something as a business leader, I'm always thinking about different ways that I can help my business grow, and that goes across every single decision that we make for the business, from sales to marketing to the teams to software, to basically every single strategy that we have. I'm looking at how is this going to help us grow on that side. And so I wanted to talk quickly about how Castle HR looks at this very directly. I often say we are a HR firm, but really we are growth catalysts. And the mechanism that we use just happens to be modern HR. So we're constantly looking to help companies grow, and that's why such a large part of our portfolio is in the tech industry. Probably about 60 to 70% are tech companies, and they're looking to grow quickly on that side. So let me tell you a little bit about Castle and kind of how we got to this point is thinking as growth catalysts for companies. And we're starting at the beginning. At that point, it's that old Lewis Carroll quote. Begin at the beginning. When we started Castle version 1.0, which is seems like so long ago, and you're probably thinking back to your first product, we were launching. We just did expert advice and we did custom handbooks at that point, right? And the expert advice was on demand. You could reach out, ask questions, and you can kind of see this was Robin and I who were there at the beginning, and crafting these amazing handbooks and customizing them, not just the black and white story, and actually giving you a voice and making it sound authentic on that side. So that's kind of where we started, and it was extremely well received by the market. We were growing, we were adding lots of clients, all things sunshine and rainbows. And then we were talking with our clients, as every company kind of does, and asking how else can we help. And they were asking us as well for specific things around, like performance reviews and retention, and some other challenges. And we decided to dig in deeper to really understand where we wanted Castle HR to grow and how could we really affect businesses. And that's when we came across this chart. And I don't know if you've seen this before, but this is really an epiphany moment for us. This chart is from Google Hire, and it shows the employee lifetime value that a company will receive from a hire. So it's pretty straightforward. At the beginning, it's your start date. New hires are a cost, right? Like you have to dedicate resources to interviewing them, spending time with them. When they do start, they're not going to be contributing at 100%. So eventually they do get up to that fully contributing level, and their output is there. Year over year, they tend to get better at their role. Eventually, they do make a decision to leave. That last day there, their output kind of stops, and sometimes there's some exit costs associated with employees leaving. And so there's nothing revolutionary. This is just more a visual aid to kind of see. But when I saw this, my brain lit up like a Christmas tree, because I was like, now we know these data points. It's really a question of how do we tactically go after them at this point and increase the output and value of each employee for the company. And this is when we're talking about growth here, right? Growth comes from not just headcount, but also from efficiency and the output of your team. So we were looking at this to understand, like, from the first data points, like, how do we ramp up faster? How are we more effective on that side? How do we make sure that we're doing great probation reviews, and if we've made a mishire, then we identify it as soon as possible, but also really thinking about how do we put people in a position to succeed at that point. And that's what a modern onboarding playbook helps with. How do you hire better? Obviously, this is something that everybody is fully conscious about, but having a talent acquisition playbook that we build for our clients really focuses in on exactly what their ideal hire is, and we get it right more often than not, and really going after that high percentage of A player hires on that point is absolutely critical, right? Because then year over year, they're going to be better, and contribute higher because you are hiring better. And then you're involving modern performance reviews, right? So modern performance reviews are going to set up that career growth for people. And that is going to get them to level up their skill. And it's also going to give them clear vision as to where they're going in the company. And that's what a lot of companies struggle with, is on that retention side. How do I keep people longer? Because now I've invested, 2 years in these people, got them absolutely to be killers at the roles, and then they leave, right? And that can be a challenge. You want to keep people longer. The top companies are keeping people on an average of 5 years versus the average company is 3 years. That extra 2 years is massive, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's in the same role. It means it's within the company. So you want to have that career chart that you're mapping out. And as you can see, this extends it and increases their output because they're leveling up their skills and they're staying longer on that side. So modern performance reviews, massive impact when we're talking about what this is. And we do it completely different than everybody else on that side. There's tons of videos probably on here about that as well that you can check out. Increased retention on that side really comes down to your culture on that side. Your culture, your values, are they aligned with the people that you're hiring? So going back to the talent acquisition playbook on that side, it really matters if they're working at a company where they enjoy showing up, they're with like-minded people, they align with the vision of the company and like want to tell their family and friends about this amazing product and company that they work for. That is when you're going to keep people longer and longer on that side. So you're going to increase retention that way too, right? And then also, you're going to have a proper employee handbook. So you're treating people properly. You're making the right decisions. You have that expert HR advice. People see this and understand that this is a company that treats people well. I'm going to stay here longer. And that also affects your exit costs because your exit costs are going to be lower if you have that amazing HR advice to tap into on that side. And if you're exiting people amicably, maybe they're moving on to a different career and they've outgrown the possibility at your company, which happens at that point. So at the end of the day, those costs are reduced. So if we're looking at this across the entire team, we're influencing this and making everybody on your team more valuable and having higher output. This is going to lead to higher sales, bigger revenue, greater profit margin on that side. Your efficiency is going to be there. You're going to be able to hire better as well. So there are tons of things that can happen on this side that are obviously huge positives. And this is how we talk about growing. We don't even need to talk about growing headcount necessarily at this point. This is usually a function of those other things. If you grow revenue, you grow everything else, you get more clients, you're going to probably need more people. But we have companies that have been with us for 2 years, a year and a half, that were at the same headcount or thereabouts the entire time. But their efficiency has increased as such that they are doing a lot better than they were before Castle. So this is how we look at it as a growth mechanism. And the big thing, like I hear all the time where it's like, oh, well, this isn't necessarily what people want, or I don't want to be that leader that drives more out of people. And I can tell you with absolute confidence, this is what your team wants as well. You are aligned on this, right? This is why we call this a win-win-win. You win, the team wins, the company wins at that point. So they're going to want it. This isn't a Mr. Burns scheme where you're trying to get more out of your team. This is actually you giving your team what they want. They want to be put in a position to succeed when they join a company and be able to hit the ground running and succeed right away. They want to know that they're working with absolute rock stars and A players across the board, that you're hiring great. They want to understand that career path that we talked about. Where are they going? Because if you're not showing them internally where they're going to be going, they will start looking externally at that point, right? And they want to work at a company that they're aligned with. We talked about telling their family and friends about it and really aligning with the culture and how you do business at that point. And when they do leave, they want to do it with a handshake, not through a lawyer on that side. So this is how Castle HR talks about being a growth catalyst and how we're really looking to help companies grow. And again, the mechanism, as you've kind of seen, to get this increased output is our modern HR strategies. So if you have questions about this or want to talk about it further, let's have a conversation. Reach out. You can tap on the website. There's book a call. You can contact us if you have a specific question. Or like I said, every piece that we talked about here, there will be more information in the resource section or on the specific pages that are listed below about where you can learn about how we move each of these pieces and tactically go after increasing this output. All right, that's it for me, guys. Have a wonderful day. Cheers. Bye-bye.